Well, hello. How are y'all doing today? Hope you're doing wonderful and amazing. It's Friday. Friday. Should probably make sure that my audio is working. Oh, yeah, it's working. Yay, we did it. We did it right. Anyway, yeah, hope you all are doing well today. Hope you had a great week working and doing all the fun things or learning or I don't know, whatever the heck you did this week. Hopefully it was great. Today we're just gonna do we're just hanging out. You can do some AMA, ask me anything. So you got IT career questions? Well, I think you've probably found the right channel because we're here to help with that. Because why not? It's what we're here for. It's what we're here to do. Um, I just put out a new video today on the TCM security channel. That was a lot of fun to do. So if you guys are thinking about or you're considering what type of computer you need to get started in your learning journey, especially when it comes to like hacking and things like that. Let me find this video because I I spent so long working on it. It was a lot of fun. Right there. Go check it out. Anyway, that's what's new this week in tech. Other than that, let's see, we're running a 10% sale on like everything over on TCM Security. So if you guys haven't joined our platform yet and you want to learn more about pen testing and lots of other cool cybersecurity stuff, check that out. Got to do a plug because why not? you know oh, this is such a great question. What should people who know absolutely nothing about IT learn first? Google. Like, hands down, Google. I'm not even lying. I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking with you in any way whatsoever. um there's so much to learn when it comes to Google even. And ChatGPT is actually like a really good addition to Google nowadays. But yeah, so it's not even that you need to learn anything right now. Or like, oh, hey, there's a tag here. I just put the shirt on. I didn't know there's a tag here. Let me take that off. Thanks, Hack the Box, for the T-shirt at DEF CON. Appreciate it. I would never mind. Thanks, Hack the Box. Anyway, um, the first thing that you need to know or understand about when you're first looking to get into IT, right? This is like so extremely important. And I cannot stress this enough because so many people like you ask questions very similar to this. And you're gonna, if you, God, I say this so many times in all of my streams, but it's really important that I put this into perspective for you and for everybody else. Like, you could ask 100 different people what they think, the best things to learn in IT, like for like what the first things are that you should learn when you want to get into IT. Sorry for butchering that. But if you ask, 100 people that, you'll literally hear 100 different answers. Like, you need to learn this technology and you need to learn that technology and you need to do this right now. And the fact is, like, no, you don't. Like, you don't need to know all of these things. So, like, that is the most important part to take from this, is that you don't need to know everything, and don't ever think that you do, because when it comes to learning the things about IT, it is endless. You will never know all of the IT things. Like, you'll never know like all these different technologies. There's just no possible way. Like, it's endless. So you have to, like, and as daunting as that probably sounds, like, you just have to understand that, like, you will never know everything, and that's okay. But if you know how to find the answers to everything, you are going to be like just wonderful and peachy keen and fine. And the finding those answers and figuring that out all comes from Google. Like, Google's going to be your best friend. Every single IT professional in the entire world on a day-to-day basis, no matter if they've worked in IT for like 2 years or for 40 years, they are using Google. Like, that's just the truth. So that doesn't exactly answer your question, I know, but I have to lead you it like up to like expectations, and I have to get you to like understand, like, going into it. If you know absolutely nothing about IT, should you learn first? Um Man, I feel like I just have to kind of go to like the CompTIA A plus. And by no means would I tell you, hey, you need to go out and take this certification, because that's like $500 you're going to spend on a certification that I mean, it could be very useful for you. You you might need it. You might need it if you're like trying to get an entry level IT role. But the information that's shared on that certification, it's probably like the best condensed resource that I could share to you or provide to you. Like, um, not all of the information on the CompTIA Plus is going to be useful, but it's going to teach you, I think, a lot of the fundamentals of IT to help you get started. And that's what's most important. So, like, what you need to learn first is kind of like the fundamentals of IT. And that's, going all the way from like hardware, software, networking, troubleshooting and things like that. Just having a basic understanding of that stuff. And that not everybody needs to do that, but like if you know nothing, like that's going to be a great starting point, like in the A plus, they talk about like different networking protocols and how like networks work and things like that, which is really, really important. They talk about like different operating systems and just kind of familiarize or like introduce you to some of these different like technologies and things that you'll see. Um, and what's great about that, and what's like why I like bring that up is because like nowadays, like you can go out online and like so let's say for instance you go through, you look at some of the CompTIA A plus material and you're like, oh man, this is great. Like I really like this networking section of the A plus. Like that section, like it just interests me. It's something that I think I could see myself doing. Well, nowadays, like you can go out online, like you are with like the YouTubes, and put in like day to day in the life of a network engineer or network administrator, and you can start to like figure out like, hey, is what this person like is what that person like is doing on the day to day basis. Like, does that really interest me? Like, networking sounded cool, but now I have like a better idea of what they do, right? So like. Are the things that they're doing interesting to you, right? And you could do that with like so many different areas of IT. So whether that be like cloud or cybersecurity or programming, like you have so many resources available to you to kind of help you through your learning journey. But first of all, like learn the fundamentals, just have like an understanding of like the different technologies and what exists out there. And then from there, like you'll really be able to kind of like build a path and build a journey for you based on that. I know I just kind of went like on a tirade there, so I do that. I'm sorry. Gotta recognize the Porsche 911 fan. It is good to see you. You have been around for a long time. I hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for the super chat. You're thinking of getting your Security Plus in October. You're pretty nervous about it. What kind of opportunities will be open once you pass? Oh man, that's a great question. Quite honestly, because you know, I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not so much like what opportunities are going to arise just from having that, because quite honestly, like not many necessarily. It all depends on like where it is that you're looking to go, like what is it that you're doing right now? What is the Security Plus going to do for you from your perspective? Where do you think the Security Plus is going to take you along your journey? And is that certification going to actually line up with that journey? Like, are there going to be positions open that are seeking the Security Plus? Like I don't know what that looks like for you. Security Plus in general, it's a more so like an entry level type of certification. It's very fundamental based in the cybersecurity sector within IT. Um, a lot of jobs require that. A lot of jobs look for that. I think I think it is the very best certification that CompTIA has to offer, quite honestly, because I think that is the one that really provides the most value. Um, all around, just from the information that you learn on that and just from the marketability of that certification. But that certification isn't geared towards anything other than like fundamentals of security. So it doesn't really set you up for anything. It more or less helps solidify, your skills and your knowledge within that sector of IT, which is cybersecurity, and that's beneficial to many, many employers. So it's not like that it's going to open up anything specifically because it's not geared towards anything necessarily specifically, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. And it'll be hard for me to probably keep up with some of these questions because I just take forever to answer questions sometimes. So if I don't answer your question right away, you might have to ask again, but please don't spam. Please. What's up, Adriana? How are you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful, amazing on this Friday. Tone all day. What's up? And is the tech sales cert the real deal? And do companies respect the Google IT cert and the Google cybersecurity analyst cert? I don't know what the tech sales cert is. I have no idea what you're talking about there. But do companies respect the Google IT cert and the Google cybersecurity analyst cert? Yes, to an extent. Here's the thing when it comes down to certifications, which is like this weird thing, right? Like, not every company cares about certifications, quite honestly. Not every company cares about degrees, right? It all comes down to like those specific organizations. And even further, like when it comes to certifications, like some companies respect many certifications that are out there, and other companies don't respect many of the certifications that are out there, right? Like, um, you see across the board. I don't even. I guess I probably shouldn't even like start naming names on things like that, but I mean, we could was just like CompTIA because I love to beat up on them, even though like I have a love hate relationship for them. There's a lot of companies that look for the CompTIA certifications. They require them. They value them in some way. But there are just as many organizations and people out there, like hiring managers and directors, who have like hold zero value on CompTIA certifications. Like they just think they're completely useless. Like that's a fact. Like you could go out online and you could see like probably hundreds of thousands of people who say stuff like that. Um, though it's just going to vary. Like it's literally just going to vary. So to the Google stuff, they have come a long way in since they've started releasing these certifications. More and more companies are respecting those certifications and recognizing those certifications. But it's going to take like the people who are actually going through these certifications and venturing through their career to help make those certifications more valuable, if that makes sense. Because they're new, like they're not going to have like the initial like respect or like just um kind of like marketability that other stuff would, so it's taking them a while, or it takes time just to kind of like get recognized sometimes. But it's going to take like the people who go through those certs. So, it's going to take people like you maybe who go through the Google IT cert or the cybersecurity cert, and get employed, right? You find a job and you go through your career for a while, and then maybe you end up as a hiring manager, and maybe you as a hiring manager see these Google IT certs as valuable. You could say from your experience, from the journey that you went through, you obtaining a Google certification helped you in your journey. You value that. There's things about it that you liked. So you as the hiring manager get to say, yeah, I see value in that. I like that. So it's going to take people like you and like them to hold have those types of certs hold more value. Yeah. So they're like hit or miss ish now. Julian, thank you very much for the super chat. Did you have a question or anything? Oh, received a job offer in help desk. Not sure if you're 100% ready though. Imposter syndrome, maybe. Any advice? Oh, such a great question. Well, first of all, congratulations. And I'll just be like 100% real with you. You are never going to be 100% ready, and that's okay. Like that is so okay, especially when it comes to help desk. The biggest thing that organizations and companies are looking for with anybody who is working in help desk is customer service. Like you are customer service 100% of the way. Um, and you're not expected to know everything. Like especially in a help desk role, like you're not expected to know all of the things. And that's okay. And you have to like go into this position understanding that you are going to be a sponge and you are going to try to learn as many things as you possibly can. So ask all of the questions, even if they're dumb questions. Ask the questions, have a good understanding of the way that they do things in that organization, and you'll be fine. But like, yeah, the imposter syndrome, I totally get that. But you will be fine because Google is going to be your best friend for sure. 100% of the way. asking questions to your coworkers, that is going to help you. Again, you don't need to know everything. You're not expected to know everything. Just go into your position knowing that you are going to be learning a lot of things, and it might be extremely overwhelming, depending on like especially like the call volume or ticket volume in that organization that you're going to. Um, but like, yeah, you're just starting out. There's a lot to learn. It'll be overwhelming, but I promise you, like, it'll be okay. You don't need to know all the things, just need to know Google because BFF again. But yeah, you'll be all right. Like for sure. I'm excited for you. Congratulations, because that's super dope. Hang on, I need to have some music going for me in the background, or else my mind things going. Anyway, how would you skip the help desk and get a higher paying job without experience? You're too old to live off of 40, 50K in New York doing help desk. This is a fantastic question. So, and I'm still kind of working on a video for this. It's something that I mapped out last week, even. But um, what you can do, and I'm probably just going to pull up this document because hang on, it'll be much easier for me to read from this document. Like I've literally like scripted this whole thing out, so I will be doing a video on this. But uh, this will help you 100%. Especially with you being in this type of position because we run across like so many people. I do, and I have especially in the last 9 years of doing this, like who are career changers. Like you've worked in like accounting for the last 20 years, you've worked as a police officer for the last like 30 years, or whatever the case may be, and you have a certain salary like level that you're at, and you're burnt out on that job. You don't want to do it anymore, but like you can't transition to many positions because like the starting point on a lot of those, like the salary so low, it just doesn't line up, whatever. So I get that with like tech. um I've seen so many people who have started their career in IT skipping the help desk completely. So many people. Like we have a guy on our team, Joe Helly. He was a mayor before he became a pen tester. Like he skipped the help desk. Well, first of all, he stopped being a mayor and then is like, I want to go do like computer work and stuff. And he learned that like he went through a learning journey to become a pen tester. But like, yeah, he did it anyway. Skipped the help desk, and now he's a pen tester. So this kind of thing happens all the time. So to answer your question, sorry that I'm like going off here. The best thing that you can do is go out onto the Google and start looking up different like job titles within IT, like different job titles, different job roles. Make like a document or take out a piece of paper and a pen and start writing down some of the different job titles and roles that just sound interesting to you. Once you have like a list put into play, like like 10 or so different job titles, job roles, then you can go out onto the Google again, or the YouTube, like and or YouTube. Um, Hang on, sorry, I'm getting a message. Okay, sorry. All good. Sorry, no. The next step, don't go to the well. You can go to the Google because you want to start looking up different job descriptions. So, great stop would be like Indeed, LinkedIn, or Monster. You can start looking up those different job titles or job roles that you thought were interesting, and look at those job descriptions and start notating like some of the different technologies that they're looking for, the different skills that they're asking for, maybe certifications that they're looking for. Put that into your document, next to those job roles. um, then you could go out on something like Glassdoor. Indeed even has this, but like there's also like a CompTIA salary calculator that exists. Put those different job titles into like all these different platforms: Glassdoor, Indeed, um, and CompTIA salary calculator. You could pin it down to even like your location even. So then you can even get like a good idea of what those different jobs pay, right? So now you've kind of built this little list out of job titles that you're interested in. You have like a good idea of like the different skills, technologies, certifications that are looking for those job titles. You have a salary range in mind, or you have a salary range kind of identified for those specific job titles and job roles. Go out on YouTube and Google also, because you'll find like blogs and stuff for this. But look up, a day in the life of those specific job titles and job roles. So, day in the life of a network engineer, day in the life of a penetration tester. You're going to get blogs. You're going to get videos of real people giving you, their rundown of what they do on a day-to-day basis, and they'll list like some of the different technologies and skills and things that they're doing right in those positions. Again, make note of that in your document or whatever. And once you kind of go through and do all this, right? Like you could also go on LinkedIn too and find people in those specific roles as well. Again, you're going to want to notate the different skills that they have, the different technologies that they've learned, certifications or degrees that they have. Now you've kind of mapped out this whole thing, right? So we have job titles and roles that you're interested in. You have job descriptions, right? And you have all of the skills that are involved with those positions. You have all the certifications that are needed for those positions. You've went out and seen what these people are doing in those positions. Now you can figure out from there, like, what's going to be most interesting to you. What are you going to, is like becoming a network engineer the most interesting to you out of all the positions? I'm just throwing out examples now. Is becoming a penetration tester like the most interesting out of all of those? Is becoming a programmer, right? Like you're going to have all these different options, right? But now it's up to you. Like you have kind of like this blueprint built out for what you can do. But or like you have a blueprint of options, I guess I should say. Now it's up to you to like determine like what which one it's going to be, right? Like you can start learning bits and pieces about all these different things. But start with what's going to be most interesting to you. Start with what you think you're going to enjoy. But now that you have all of this information in front of you, and it's actually like mapped out to real people doing these jobs, like now you have you literally have everything in front of you that you need to learn to get to that position, right? Like you have all the different skills, technologies, tools, etc., that you need to learn to get to that position. And once you start networking with people and learning these things, and basically setting up your learning journey to jump into one of those positions, like you're going to find it easier to make kind of that jump from whatever your current career is into like skipping the help desk. You're literally going to map out like a high level career, but you're going to know and understand like all the steps that you can take to get yourself there. Like hopefully that makes sense. Like because you can also reach out to these people on LinkedIn and ask them about their journey and things like that. But yeah, by doing all of this, like you'll be able to really kind of uh have, I think, um the best experience, right? I hope that makes sense. And when I actually record the video for this, it will make a lot more sense. So, yes, hopefully that helps. Another super chat. Thank you very much. Y'all don't have to do the super chats. You're doing well. You got a help desk job 9 months ago. Congratulations. You were told that administration was the next step by six, but cybersecurity is your goal. Well, what would you like to do in cybersecurity? That would be my first question for you. Like, and just to like put this out there, I hear from people all the time who say this exact phrase. I want to work in cybersecurity, or they ask this phrase, I should say. I want to work in cybersecurity. What should I learn first? The first thing that you should learn is what is involved in cybersecurity. Like, what is cybersecurity? Because cybersecurity is just like this little, and promise you when I tell you this, like cybersecurity is a little subset within the information technology field, right? Like it's its own thing. So within cybersecurity itself, there are literally hundreds of different like job titles and job roles that you will find. So when somebody says like I want to work in cybersecurity, what should I do or what should I do, get started? Like first thing is like figure out what it is in cybersecurity that you want to do. That's like number one, because cybersecurity, like you don't just work in cybersecurity. I mean, it's easy to say that. Like I say that because like like it's kind of what I do, but like there isn't just like a cybersecurity job, right? Like that does not exist. There are jobs within cybersecurity, but there's not like a cybersecurity job. Hopefully that makes sense. Brig, you don't have to keep super chatting, my man. Thank you again. Incident response or application security, that's what you're interested in at the moment. So you're working help desk, but if you want to work in application security, like that's really like very different. It's very different. So how much like programming and application development and experience and things like that do you have? That's way outside of help desk. Incident response would definitely be much easier transition for you to go down. So there's a lot of blue team content that's out there nowadays. So I couldn't tell you anything off the top of my head that specifically relates to incident response, but I know that there are courses out there that do exist. That's what I would highly suggest looking into, because it's great that you're getting help desk experience. That's the best thing about, like, that's the best, right? Just getting experience, first of all, is going to be great. But now you can like set up your journey to get into an incident response. Security Plus, it's going to be helpful for you because it's going to teach you a lot of like the fundamentals and stuff that you'll need as you're wanting to venture into incident response. But you'll definitely want to start gearing up your learning journey more towards like incident response type of courses and things like that. And they do exist. I just don't know what they are off the top of my head. I am doing wonderful, man. Thank you. And thank you again for the super chats. You don't need to do that. Hang on. Checking messages. Wait. What is this? Hold on. Oh. Sorry. Reading through messages. All right. Scrolling through, looking for questions. I'm sorry if I missed your questions. Nice to catch you live. Well, thanks for joining. Would I recommend switching from help desk to help desk at a different company just for growth? Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Lateral moves are sometimes like very much okay. You just got your CISA Plus. What is the next step? What's the next step for what? What you trying to do? Why did you get your CISA Plus in the first place? What was your goal? And then maybe I can help answer your question. You want to learn about technology and software as a hobby. How do I start to teach yourself about it online? Any suggestions like YouTube channels or trusted websites? Professor Messer on YouTube. He's like the OG. He goes through a lot of I mean, that teaches you, I guess, like very much like focused IT stuff. So I don't know, like what more do you want to learn about IT, I guess? Like technology and software mean different things to me, and they probably mean different things to you. But like what, I guess, yeah, what most specifically interests you? Marcus, what's up? Any experience dealing with scam job opportunities? No, but I hear they're happening like quite frequently nowadays, which is crazy. I don't have experience with that. I'm sorry. I honestly like, and I'm sure I probably get those opportunities coming across, but like I can't, and this happens to like everybody on like LinkedIn and everybody who shares like a public resume and things like that, but you'll constantly get like bombarded with like emails or messages on LinkedIn from recruiters, right? I always ignore that stuff. I don't like I genuinely don't trust people reaching out to me in general for like opportunities, right? Like it's always kind of like a weird thing. I think from my perspective. I just have major trust issues anyway, probably because I don't know. I hate when people like message me and like with like opportunity, it's just kind of a weird thing. Even when I was like going through a job search, like I just would never trust any of those people reaching out. It's like if I'm gonna find it, if they and furthermore, like if I could figure out like what job that was, that they're like reaching out to me about, like I would just go directly to their website and apply for the job, you know. Anyway, going down all these different tirade things today. It's Friday and I'm exhausted, honestly. I didn't get enough sleep last night. Sean, it's good to see you, sir. I hope you're doing all right. I appreciate that. Always appreciate that feedback. I like helping people. It's fun. It really is. Like, honestly, I like real. I think I'm lucky. I'm so lucky that I get to do this. Because I really do enjoy helping people. Like, and I should say there's like a caveat to that though, right? Like, I love helping people, but I only love helping people with like the things that like I'm feel really good about helping them with. Like I don't love helping people like move furniture and stuff and move their houses and things like that, right? Like that sucks, you know. But I really love technology. Like I'm very very passionate about technology, and I love to help people with that aspect of it. So yeah, very lucky for sure. Finding your calling, yeah. I think I've found my calling for sure because I tell everybody, like, I love what I do. I really do. Like, working for TCM Security, best job I've ever had in my entire life. It was just, like, this weird continuation of, like, hey, of, like, of IT career questions, but, like, we've taken it to, like, a completely new level, and it's the coolest thing ever because like, I get to be involved with helping millions of people, like, literally. That is just so freaking cool. I've got to see people go through like we've talked about today, like having no experience in IT, go through like our training and stuff, and then they're penetration testers, and it's just like that is mind blowing to me. Um, I get to be involved with that somehow, and it's just like the coolest. Like, yeah. Anyway, gonna go out on so many different other tirades. Anyway, sorry, Joshua. You're looking to move out of the SOC into Threat Hunter IR role. Just got your CISA Plus. Is Pentest Plus worth it? No. Or taking a different cert. I mean, yeah, Pentest Plus definitely not worth it for sure, especially when it comes to security. Um, there are, I believe, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what other training and courses are out there that directly relate to threat hunting, incident response. Um, those, there are incident response courses out there for sure. I think there's some threat hunting courses, maybe. It's I don't I should probably get up to date on more of the blue team training, quite honestly. I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue and I cannot think of who they are, and it's driving me nuts. Anyway. Gosh, maybe somebody in the chat can help. I cannot think of the training company who does they have like a very popular IR course. I don't know. Anyway, Pentest Plus definitely not worth it. I think, in my opinion, my humble, honest opinion, when it comes to penetration testing certifications or hacking type of certifications, literally, seriously, legitimately, hands down, best certification that you get is probably the Practical Network Penetration Tester from TCM Security. It's a PMPT, like just hands down. I don't think there's anything better because every other certification that you're going to find that's pen test related or hacking related, it's either multiple choice or capture the flag, or maybe like both, and that does not at all simulate, replicate what you see in the real world. And that's like very, very important when it comes to any training that you find nowadays, which is why I think like YouTube in general is like one of the best training platforms out there, because you have like real people teaching you the real things that they do in their jobs as it relates to real world. That is so, so important when it comes to anybody who's trying to like get into the technology field. Learning real world skills, technologies, tools that apply to like these positions, like that's important, like so crucial. So that's why like the PMPT, and yes, somebody just said BTL1. That is a certification. I was thinking, who does that certification? That's the company that I'm thinking of. Anyway, now I just kind of lost my train of thought. PMPT, yeah, it's the only thing that like really kind of mimics, simulates like a real pen test engagement. So when it comes to pen test certs, like Pen Test Plus, it's multiple choice. CEH, it's like multiple choice, whatever. Nobody respects that anymore. OSCP, it's CTF. What is INE have? It's whatever. It's multiple choice slash like CTF type of thing. And I'm not knocking any of these by any means. Like, please don't take that necessarily as a knock, because I am a firm believer in education as a whole. And I think CompTIA, OffSec, INE, EC. I'm not going to talk about them again because I don't like them. But in general, still, even though like I don't like them, like training is training and education is education, which is like great. The more that you can learn, the better that you will be. So like I can never like knock any of those organizations, because they're ultimately trying to like teach people, which should help them, and that's what's really important. But when it comes to like actually learning the skills that you need to do these positions, like the best training that you're going to find is going to be practical. It'll be hands-on. It will be teaching you like the real skill, like the real shit that you do on a day-to-day basis in those jobs. Hope that makes sense. Sorry. Jeremy's inner peace. Do you need the A+ cert to get into help desk? I mean, you don't need it to get into help desk. Will it help you tremendously? Yes, it will very much help you, but you don't need it. Like help desk is one of those positions where like what you really need is to know how to talk to people, and you need to know like customer service, and you need to know how to Google. That will get you everywhere. What you could do though, if you don't want to go get your A+, which I get, you're going to want to build home labs. You're going to want to definitely build home labs for sure, because you're going to want to learn like Active Directory. You're going to want to learn ticketing systems. Like those two are going to be the most important things that you can learn when it comes to a help desk position as far as technical things go. Like Active Directory is pretty much used like everywhere, and that manages users, and you're going to be resetting a lot of passwords in help desk. So being familiar with Active Directory, A+, number one, look into that. Ticketing systems, like every organization who runs a help desk has a ticketing system. Learn and understand what a ticketing system is and get familiar with it. They're not all the same, but they're all very similar, if that makes sense, right? Like they just have very similar, like a lot of similarities between all of them. You can sign up for like free help desk ticketing software online. Like I'm sure like Jira and Service Desk and all that like offer free trials and stuff. And there's even like a open source ticketing system that you can download and virtualize. But what's really important about learning ticketing systems, especially working in the help desk, the ticketing system, provided like that organization actually like does this, which most organizations do and should, your ticketing system will often be like the best knowledge base that you can have for that organization. So when you're working in the help desk and you're getting calls or tickets or projects and things like that, you can go through all of your old ticket, not your old ticket, but you can go through all the old tickets in that ticketing system to see if there's been like any other issues that have been similar to what you're seeing, or projects similar to what you're doing, and look through all of that, like the notes and documentation that's provided there. Yeah, like and like yeah, so learn ticketing systems for sure, and an Active Directory, and make sure that that stuff stands out on your resume, especially when you're getting in a help desk. So like biggest thing that you could like really do with your resume, looking in entry level IT work, is highlight your customer service and like the way that you're able to work with people, communicate with people, soft skills, fantastic. And then like Active Directory, ticketing systems, troubleshooting, like that's what's going to sell you all day long over, not necessarily over the A plus, but in place of the A plus. And the A plus doesn't really, I think the new A plus did include more Active Directory finally, after, I don't know how many years Active Directory has been like just the hugest part of like IT, especially like, never mind. Gonna go down another tirade. But anyway, yeah, I think that can help. Sorry. I had to force myself to do this live stream today, by the way. I'm like exhausted. But I did a live stream last week, and I told y'all that I would try to do it more, trying the best that I can. How do you build a home lab? I have videos on this, and there are so many videos out on the YouTube about building home labs, which is great for you, because like you're going to find all types of different tutorials and stuff that you can go through to build a home lab. So utilize YouTube. But best thing that you can start with building a home lab is setting up a domain controller and promoting that bad boy to Active Directory, or setting up Microsoft Windows Server, promoting that to a domain controller, and then setting up Active Directory. Now I have it, now we got it down. I was like out of sync there. But yes, that's like the best home lab that you can start with, is just setting up Active Directory, honestly. It's really, really easy to do. I think it's fun, honestly. I enjoy it. What do I think of the BTL1 certification? I think it's a great certification. What company does that certification, though? I don't want to look it up. Throw it in the chat, because I was trying to think of that company earlier, and I still can't think of them. Do I have any experience with Total Sums Courses book? I hear a lot of great things about them. So you use them solely for your material and failed 3 times. Yeah. When it comes to like, especially like those multiple choice certifications that exist out there, I cannot stress to you how important it is to use multiple training platforms to learn. Like I went through, when I was doing my CompTIA Security Plus, that CompTIA so graciously sponsored for me, I had to use their training material, and their training material is not very good. I failed my Security Plus the first time I took it, only using their training material and a little bit of Professor Messer. The second time I took my Security Plus, I used IT Pro TV's like advanced or accelerated Security Plus course, and a lot more Professor Messer, and none of CompTIA's training material. And then I passed the CompTIA Security Plus. So that was kind of cool. But I had to use multiple training providers. It was between, like literally, if you look at that, it was CompTIA, Professor Messer, and IT Pro TV. Like 3 different training platforms just to help me pass that. Is that going to be the case for everybody? No, it was the case for me. It's the case for a lot of people. Some people are really good at taking exams, and they can like pick up a book and go and pass that exam, in like 2 weeks. Not me. Security Blue Team, yes. Security Blue Team has a lot of good Blue Team courses. Thank you, chat. Y'all the best. Crypto Packet. Your company uses Zendesk, and we use old tickets all the time for reoccurring issues. You make sure your team checked there first before asking for help. That's what I did when I worked at the hospital. All of like our help desk people, our help desk, and like our techs, the thing would be like, it's like so often too, and people are lazy, so like it didn't go the way we wanted it to. But anytime like the help desk or techs would come to us, like people like who in different roles, higher roles, whatever, when they came to us to ask us a question, the first thing that we would ask back to them is like, yo, did you check the ticketing system? Did you check the knowledge base? Because we had like an internal wiki, like an internal knowledge base. It's like, so it's like, did you check the ticketing system? Did you check the wiki? Did you check Google? Like, if they didn't check those 3 things and they like and come and ask us a question, like, we would be so pissed. Like, look, like, don't even come to us unless you've gone to Google, unless you've gone in the ticketing system, unless you've checked the wiki. You checked all those things, you still can't find the answer, then we can talk. Yeah. I miss those. I really do miss those days so much. Thinking about that just brings a smile to my face, clearly. The real Himothy, you want to learn like software, like operating systems, about technology, like what's the newest laptop and stuff. Like, it's an interest in their YouTube channels or apps to get you started. I mean, if you want to learn about like that type of stuff, like the newest laptops and technologies and stuff like that, I would have referred you to this one YouTube channel that's like really, really, really big and giant and stuff, because they do stuff like that. But there's a lot of controversy over that YouTube channel now. Um, so like Gamers Nexus or something would probably be like a good alternative if I had to take a wager. But there's people like what Tom's Hardware and stuff, like that's a good website for stuff like that. Um, yeah, I don't watch a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, learning about different operating systems and technology too, like Professor Messer is like a great starting point, because it's just, I don't know what it, you just, I think you were just asking because you just want to, you just doing this as a hobby or something, right? Just because you want to learn more. Um, I don't, I don't know of any good resources off the top of my head that like introduce you to technologies like that, in like a more hobbyistic way, of just like a generalized like type of thing, if that makes sense. I'm like thinking, I'm like, man, that'd probably be like a good idea, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Yeah, TCM has been, we have been getting blue team stuff slowly but surely. Hopefully we have more on the way. Hopefully. Brother E, been working first role IT role for over a year, desktop support with some junior sysadmin, got A plus like 2 months ago, currently studying security plus and hoping to attain CCNA by the end of the year. After, should you swap jobs? Where should you aim to pivot afterwards? Well, if you're going to go for your CCNA, I would probably say like, like a networking type of position would be great. But what do you want to do? If you worked in desktop support and did some junior sysadmin stuff for a year now, you've more than likely been introduced to a lot of different technologies and different avenues within IT. You got your A plus, so you're going to be familiar with a lot of stuff. You're studying for your Sec plus, so you're getting introduced to more security related things. And if you're going to obtain your CCNA, that takes you down the networking path. So like you have options available to you, but like it really is up to you. Like I said, going back to, you've worked in IT for a year, you've been introduced to many different technologies and things. What area of IT is most interesting to you based on your experience? Like, now is your opportunity to start really pivoting, and especially like your learning journey to the next role that is going to interest you the most. So unfortunately, like your question that you're asking me has to go back to you, because you have to decide where it is that, excuse me, you want to be. Yeah, Lawrence Systems was a good, that's who I was thinking of earlier too. Level one text and Lawrence Systems, those are good resources for you. The real Himothy, those are good YouTube channels for sure. But yeah, brother E, yeah, hopefully that helps, or hopefully it helped you or something. It's up to you, man. You got to decide. What is that lighting up behind me? I don't know which one you see. Which one do you see? There's lights happening. This that light is, those are nano leaf lights. There we go. Those are nano leaf lights. So those are kind of going on, maybe doing some things. There's also like a bar light back there, like in the corner. And then there's the Hack the Planet thing that's lighting up. I think it's the Barlate that, and I think it's, I didn't even know that it did that. So apparently the Barlate that I have also has the like audio thing built into it because every time that I talk, it's going off. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. You look incredible. Keep it up, man. Thanks. I feel incredible. I mean, now I feel real tired, but otherwise, I'm pretty much, yeah, I feel amazing nowadays for sure. Matt, what's up? Is a position like Geek Squad worth being at for a year, or is that something that once you get into immediately apply to other entry level jobs and leverage the title? Uh, yeah, I mean, the latter of what you said, I guess. I mean, it's helpful. Like Geek Squad's cool because it is all customer service, and especially like if you want to jump into more like an entry level help desk type of position, like that experience is going to be very very valuable for you. So if that's like your goal is to just like jump foot into some type of entry level IT position off a Geek Squad, then yeah, just start applying to those types of positions right away. Best bet. Good luck. You just finished a sysadmin interview, and to be honest, the questions were more help desk questions than advanced sysadmin questions. Yeah, so cool. Weird thing about IT also, and all the job titles. Like those job titles are just so skewed in IT. Like one sysadmin position, like those role, like the responsibilities and everything might be like completely different from like job to job to job, and it could be even like industry specific, right? Like let's say like you're a sysadmin for a tire manufacturing company. I don't know why I picked that, but I did. But you're a sysadmin for a tire manufacturing company, and you go and take a new role as a sysadmin in another tire manufacturing company. Like, even though like it's the same type of like company doing the same type of things and it's the same title, you might find that like the sysadmin at this new place, like they do more networking than sysadmin, right? So like you might find that like that job is like 90% networking and like 10% sysadmin, but they call it sysadmin for whatever reason. Like that type of stuff happens all the time. So it could be that like, hey, that sysadmin position is more lined up with the help desk position. That's all right. Maybe not for you, but I guess it's not all right. It's just IT job titles are skewed and dumb. I'm sorry. And I have to leave in like 5 minutes, by the way. So we'll be ending the stream shortly. What's up, Michael? You have 3 years of experience in cybersecurity and you have about 10 different certifications. Well, hot darn. How do I get over the imposter syndrome? You don't. Also, any tips to improve soft skills? Tons. Whoo, ready for this? Okay, you'll never get over imposter syndrome. I don't think. I think when you have it, I think that's impossible to break. I think everybody suffers from imposter syndrome. Not everybody, most people suffer from that. There's a lot of people who have imposter syndrome, and it's the best thing in the world for them because it makes you work harder, whether you realize like you're working harder or not. Like the fact that you recognize this imposter syndrome, like subconsciously, just makes you do so much better. And I think that's so helpful for many people out there. But I've told this story like so many times. I'm gonna tell it again because it's one of my favorite stories in the entire world to tell. Um, I became good friends with somebody who was a CISO for an organization, a very well-known organization, and we became like really good friends and talk all the time. And he was applying for a new position, a new like security director position for an organization, and it was an even bigger company, even like larger organization. And he was talking to me about it, and he was like, I'm not qualified for this, like I can't do it, like all of these like just like negative 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 negative. And it's like I'm sitting there hearing this guy talk, and everything that he's like like getting across to me is like, dude, you got imposter syndrome. Like how in the world do you have imposter syndrome? Like it blew my mind that this guy that I looked up to, who's like sitting on top of the world, like has imposter syndrome. So he was working at Live Nation as like their CISO or some director of like security type of thing for Live Nation, and he was applying for a security director position for the Chan Zuckerberg initiative. Which, if you put that together, Chan Zuckerberg, Facebook, he wasn't for Facebook. It was for their initiative. I have to be very clear on that, but I'm just like trying to put context in here. He was applying for this position at Chan Zuckerberg, and he's like, I can't do it. Like, I'm not going to be good enough. And I'm just like, dude, like he's worked for like NBC Universal Studios or whatever, worked at Live Nation, like I said, like for Chase. Like, dude he's crushed it his entire life. I look up to him, like, genuinely look up to this guy. He's got imposter syndrome. And this happened like 4 or 5 years ago now at this point. 4 years ago, maybe, I think, yeah, maybe 3 or 4. But that changed my entire outlook on people with imposter syndrome. Because again, like, right, like here I am looking up to this dude who has imposter syndrome. But it's just like, dude, from the outside, you're killing it, you're crushing it, you know. So I give you the story just to like, um just to kind of like put into perspective, like, you could literally be at the top level of your game, right? Like working for one of the biggest organizations in the entire world. You still have imposter syndrome. And this is one of these guys, like, has imposter syndrome, but uses that towards his advantage because he works so hard and does such a good job with what he does. And it's paid off. He's just like a genuinely great person. So yeah, that's my imposter syndrome story that I wanted to tell you. It'll be okay. Like, you'll be fine. You'll probably have it for a while. But like the biggest thing that I could tell you, and it's like actually what I told him after he got the job. I mean, I told him before, but like then I reiterated afterwards, is just like, hey, I know you think you got this imposter syndrome thing and all that, but this company hired you. Like, they saw something in you, you know. They they brought you in, because they believed in you. Like, that's like always going to be the most important thing that you kind of have to understand and relate to, especially as you get into like different positions and start leveling up your career. Like, those imposter syndrome like attacks are gonna happen, they're gonna come back and get you. But like, somebody saw something in you. They believed in you because you are capable and qualified to do that. And that's like always what you have to pull away from that. You are in the position that you're in because you did the work to do that. Whether you see that or not, like, doesn't really matter because somebody else did, you know. It does matter, but it's just like, I feel like with imposter syndrome, like, I just don't know how anybody overcomes that. And I think it's okay. I think it's a great thing to have. So anyway, um, tips to improve soft skills. I guess I would have to like talk with you and understand like which soft skills you would need to improve. There's so much different advice that I could give you related to soft skills, but it just depends on like, you know, you individually, where you're at and what's going to be most effective, right? Um, One of the things that I always like to tell people, I think is very helpful, because this is how I learned to like develop my soft skills. I'm very, very much an introvert, which like people think is like weird because here I am talking to you on camera, right? But like, you're not here in person, and there's not like a bunch of other people here. But I'm very much an introvert. And it took me a long time to learn how to talk to people, like a long time. I dropped out of high school when I was 14 and like literally sat in my basement on the computer for like 6 or 7 years straight, like not interacting with people, not going to high school. Totally like killed, the way that I learned how to communicate, essentially. But over the years, what I always did, like anytime that I did go out in public places, like, it always sounds kind of creepy, but it's not. It wasn't meant for me to like to be a creep, and it's not meant for you to be a creep. But it's like, I would listen to people. I'd listen to like groups of people communicate with each other, people one-on-one communicating with each other. And just picked up on like, on the way that, different types of people would interact with, people and things like that. And I would try to like mimic that or try to like incorporate that into somehow like into my personality and things like that. But it really took a lot of like just sitting down at the mall, like in the cafeteria area, like listening to people talk, um, to understand, like for me, like how I could do that, you know? Um, so like I hope like that is helpful for some people. Because like, yeah, it's so hard for me to talk with people. I was probably like the most awkward person. I still am very awkward, I feel like. But I think like over the years, like just from doing that, and I go out like to the bars, like and I don't go out to the bar all the time, but every time I do go out to the bar, like, I'm having a couple drinks or whatever, like I love to listen to people like talk and have conversations. It's not that I'm like listening to like exactly what it is that they're doing or talking about necessarily, right? Like you hear a lot of weird and dumb stuff all the time, but like it's more or less like what type of tone are people using with one another? What type of like verbiage and and all that like are they using with one another? Like mannerisms, like what type of mannerisms are they using? Are their mannerisms more like physical and like visual, where they're using their hands a lot and things like that to explain things? Like there's a lot of people who love to like do this to communicate. And like when you're interacting with those types of people, like you might find yourself doing that as well, right? But that like helps integrate you into that conversation more. It's such a weird thing, but like that type of stuff helps. Um, but like that's the type of stuff that I look for. Um, because and I just like I want to understand people. Like a lot with like with what I do with like wanting to help people with doing like this YouTube channel, right? Of putting together all these videos for all of these years is like I have to listen to people and understand them so that I can help them, right? Um, man, it's just anyway, sorry. I was reading this. Sounds weirder than it really is, but that's good advice. Yeah, I mean, it's totally weird. Like you're eavesdropping essentially, right? And it's kind of creepy. I get that. Like, but it's just like I didn't use that as an opportunity to like be a creep and like listen to people and use that against them or use that in any way or like share things with people. It's just like I just want to listen to you because like it's like people are having like these awesome conversations with one another, right? And I would get so jealous because it's like I can't talk to people like that. I can't have these conversations with people. Like, what do I do to learn? Well, I'm just gonna sit here and watch you and try to figure it out. Like I still get jealous of that sometimes. Like so I'll sit and listen because like I want to be able to have like those fun conversations with people and have like interesting, that interesting dynamic and things like that, or just sound like I know what I'm talking about, or just not sound like an idiot, right? Um, so like, yeah, that's what I would do. Is just listen. And it's helped tremendously. So I hope that helps you too. Anyway, I need to leave. I'm past the 5-minute time that I said that I was going to stay. So thank you all for joining. I know this wasn't the most lively live stream by any means because I'm just exhausted, but I really do appreciate y'all showing up and hanging out, and asking questions and hopefully getting some good advice here and there. Jason Dion, solid, by the way, Timothy. He's good. Anyway, I'll try to do this again next week if I can. Uh, Hopefully somebody will yell at me and be like, "Hey, really hope you do a live stream next week and hang out." Something. 'Cause I would love to. Maybe. No, we'll try to do this next week for sure. Again, I'm just exhausted, so sorry for being a little weird today. Anyway, love y'all. Brady, good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining. I hope you all have a great weekend and